friends, we have got some pretty big breaking news here. Sorry, a little bit dark. I'm going to sit up for this because this is serious business. We had a huge announcement today, breaking news from the National Sports Card Convention. And I've got a little bit of a twist on it that I'm going to talk about kind of towards the end because I just have a lot of thoughts I'm trying to process. And of course, what this is Burbank Sports Cards, probably the largest inventory of cards maybe in the world for a card shop, 40 million plus cards, has decided to move all of these cards from eBay, long-time eBay partnership, we're talking 20 plus years, to Fanatics Collect, which of course is the old PWCC, which was now rebranded as Fanatics Collect. What does it mean? There's a lot that goes into a decision like that. I did happen to talk to Rob Veras, who owns Burbank Sports Cards today. He was here. I met up with him at the media lounge here and did get in a little bit of time, just kind of talked with him for a few minutes about it. It's a monumental decision, but there's a great Collect.com article that came out today as well. And actually, Collect.com was here on site. We saw Ben Burrows. He's been doing a great job over there. But man, this is some pretty huge news. I do want to thank today's video sponsor, DC Sports 87. You've got cards that you want to sell on eBay, but you don't want to bother with the shipping and the packing and the listing and all of the things that come along with it. DC Sports 87 can handle that for you. I send a lot of cards over to those guys. Easy peasy. Also, Hakes Auctions ending in the next 4 days, less than 4 days over at Hakes Auctions. Tremendous pop culture items as well as vintage sports cards. So make sure to check out Hakes. All right, this Collect.com article, there's some kind of juicy nuggets in here that I want to talk about and just kind of expand on a little bit. And like I said, I mean, Rob Veras and Burbank, they've been with eBay for 20 plus years. And let's keep in mind, eBay has the most eyeballs. When we talk about listing on an auction site, working with a company to sell cards, it's eBay as the one that gives you the most eyeballs. So I don't want to downplay the risk attached to this. I don't want to downplay, the potential downside of this choice that Rob made. But it kind of, if I'm reading between the lines, it feels like a part of a larger partnership that I think is going to show itself here with Fanatics, between Burbank and Fanatics here in the coming months and probably the coming years. Keep in mind, this is exclusive. I'll say it again, it's an exclusive deal. So there will be no more Burbank cards, 40 million plus cards that are going to be on eBay. They will all be moved over to Fanatics Collect. One thing that Rob said here in this article, I feel like for the first time I have an unlimited opportunity on a platform. And he mentioned kind of a glass ceiling, kind of, and just using that as terminology. Glass ceiling maybe feels like he's hitting some of the limits. He had hit some of the limits with eBay as far as what they could do. And it sounds to me like a lot of promises were made to Rob and Burbank by Fanatics. And it sounds to me like what Rob says here is that he wants to expand his brand globally. And from what the article states, he feels that is better suited with Fanatics. And of course, we know, Michael Rubin has the relationships with the teams and the owners and the players. I've said it before here, I think he's the most powerful man in sports, not just sports collectibles, but sports as a whole. He can literally call owners of companies. He was a Philadelphia 76ers part owner. Of course, he had to sell his stake here over the last few years because he's getting into sports betting. He has Fanatics Bets, and so you can't be owner of a NBA franchise and then also have that operation. So he has made moves to, really kind of use the experience that he's had as an owner. But this guy can, call commissioners. Commissioners answer his call. Tom Brady answers his call. So I think the idea here is you have a unique opportunity. I'm guessing here, I'm speculating a little bit. Maybe Rob is feeling there's a unique opportunity to work with a company that is head up by a guy who is very powerful in the world of sports, maybe more so than we've ever really seen before from a large or a small company. The fact that the guy can get Tom Brady on the phone at any point, Devin Booker, while he was in Burbank Sports Cards, going back last year or a couple years ago, famously, called Devin Booker while there was a young collector there looking at his cards and was able to get Devin Booker on the phone on FaceTime so she could meet him, and then flew him out to a game and got a signed jersey and all the rest of it. So from a marketing standpoint and a connection standpoint, Fanatics is the obvious choice here. But we have to go back to the fact that, PWCC, now Fanatics Collect, has never really been a low dollar, 25-cent cards, 50-cent cards, $1 cards. They're not a dollar bin platform. They never have been. So this is something new for them, to where they're literally going to take on a massive inventory that is atypical to what historically has been their clientele. A lot of the stuff on PWCC, it's high-end buyers. You see a lot of high-end cards, memorabilia that is sold there, and so you do have the whales are kind of on there with Golden and PWCC, with, of course, now Fanatics Collects. So the idea that all of a sudden now you're going to have a massive low dollar inventory, is there going to be enough traffic? How quickly can Fanatics Collect spin up and kind of, gain more traction against an eBay, for these types of items? Like I said, Fanatics must have offered Burbank a tremendous deal. It had to be a deal that Rob could not refuse, because there is, as Rob says here in the article, a leap of faith, because he has to know, that there's still work to be done. Fanatics Collects is still trying to build, whereas eBay is built. eBay has just been around for a very long time. One thing that it does mention here in the article is that Burbank specifically is looking for new and repeat customers, a rising trajectory week over week, month over month. So they are looking at, hey, how can we expand our brand globally to people that maybe don't know who Burbank is, and which also speaks to maybe a larger set of goals for Fanatics as far as collectibles are concerned. There's a lot of moving parts here. There's a lot of kind of reading between the lines, and also a lot of faith put in this project. Another huge thing that Rob and I talked directly about this was a new state-of-the-art 14,000 square foot facility is going to be built out. Burbank will be moving into it kind of gradually over time. And I don't see in the article a timeline, but Rob did tell me a timeline. I'm not going to state that timeline because it's not in the article, but it was, I felt like, fairly aggressive, as far as getting everything moving along and making it all happen. And so things are moving quickly. And they also do the Burbank Card Show. I mean, there's a lot going on over there. But again, you see a move to a more state-of-the-art, of course, physical cards, digital experience. There's, what did he notate here? Kiosks, to where you have cards on demand. So again, adding in technology, branching out, expanding what they've been doing. And I think that maybe one thing that Burbank has always been is kind of like the old card shop. It's kind of, you have that nostalgia, but they've just got such great systems in place. You look at their inventory, they've got a massive warehouse that's incredibly organized, and they've got people working there that do a great job of keeping it all organized. Well, now it looks like they're trying to move more into a tech type of store. Of course, keeping all those efficiencies in place that they've built masterfully, but there's going to be some added wrinkles here that we have not seen at Burbank. One huge question mark I have, I did not ask Rob this directly, but it is something that I'm watching very closely as we move into this new venture, is Fanatics and Fanatics Live and Fanatics Breaks and all that stuff. They're a breaking company. They want to break product. They want to topple whatnot, and Fanatics Live be number one in that spot. They're big on breaking and expanding that space. And Rob Veras is not all about breaking and breaks, and is not all that interested in that side of the business, and has been very vocal about that side of the business, and it being, gambling, a casino, and all that sort of thing, like many of us on the social media side, the old men screaming into the sky have been talking about. He shares those same, ideas, thoughts. Well, how will that change? Will his thoughts change on the matter? If they do change, how will they operate? And, so that's something I'm watching very closely. I'll be interested to see how that goes. I'll be shocked if Burbank is going to have an expanded relationship with Fanatics Tops and not have a breaking operation. And if they do, what does it look like? So that's something that I want to see how that goes. It's going to be very interesting, but I think this is also a big thing for eBay. How does eBay respond? Will others follow? That's a bit, that's a big question mark. Think about all the other, folks that have been with eBay for a long time. Does it change what they do? Does it change what they're thinking and how they do business? It's going to be, it's very interesting times. But again, it looks to be that Fanatics making deals, making moves. It's just, again, it's going to come back and fall back on the execution on the back end. It's one thing to make a deal. It's another thing to execute for not only the companies you're partnering with, but also for the end consumer, end customer, end collector. So we will see how this happens, guys. I will be heading back home. This will be my last video in the twin bed in the haunted house. Just kidding. It's been actually fantastic. I'll have a DPZ show coming with Drake. The Pick 6 podcast will come out on Monday, and then I'll have a full national show recap coming on Tuesday. So we got some fun content. I'm losing my voice. I'm getting high voice. We've got some fun content coming down the line. Friends, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.